Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Demastered, a place where we celebrate our love for all things nerdy. I'm Wade.
I'm Chelsea.
On today's episode, we are going to be demastering the Fantastic Four movie. And to specify, I guess, the new one.
Yes.
We could go back, I guess. Do the 2015 one.
How about the 2005?
You know what? I'm there. Let's do the 2005 one.
Exactly. And the sequel.
I actually love those movies.
I enjoy those.
They were
too.
good ones. They were
my heart.
good comic book movies for that time.
Mm-hmm.
Although we wouldn't have our Doctor Doom anymore. So that's unfortunate.
No. R.I.P.
R.I.P. indeed. That was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a new Fantastic Four and a new Doctor Doom. Well, almost a new Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But we'll get there, I suppose, in another couple movies. Or in one more movie? That's the next movie, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. This will be very interesting how all of this fits together with all of the announcements they've made about who's going to be in Doomsday to what this movie is even going to be. Because, yes, like we said, this episode we will be talking about the Fantastic Four first steps, but it doesn't give you enough to be like, oh, this will affect the rest of the MCU. I mean, you can assume how some things will, but it's still, in a sense, a very much contained movie.
But, that's a good thing, though, too. After so many Marvel movies, to have one where you can just watch it and enjoy it and walk away and not worry about anything else, like, that's neat. You don't get that a lot anymore.
No, 100% there, because honestly, I had the lowest expectations going into this movie, but I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, and like we said, it's very much its own world in a sense. Like, they really built this world from the ground up, because it immediately answered my first question. As soon as the movie starts, it immediately goes to Earth 828. So you already know we're not where everything normally takes place in the MCU.
Indeed.
We're completely on a different Earth, and they go hard building this world, and it's great.
Yeah, you immediately know you're not in the normal Marvel universe, but it's also in the 60s.
Yes.
And I love that. I can't wait till they're like end up in ours, but also like in 2027. And it's like, what is happening here? Like, I think Reed's head is going to explode with all the technology and stuff.
A little bit, but like even the technology they have is pretty interesting, because it is kind of this like retro futuristic vibe. Mm-hmm. We still have like the flying cars and whatnot and their technology. Well, at least the Fantastic Four do, but it's fun. I think it made this movie truly different from some of the others, because it felt almost a little bit more, I know I'm going to use the word fantastical, but it kind of did. It was a little bit less grounded, like because of just the whole world building aspect of this, about it being a completely different place we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm. But you don't even get a lot of time with the world almost. Like
I did want more.
the story is extremely centered on the four characters.
Mm-hmm.
If they're on the planet, in the Baxter building, up in space, whatever, it's with them all the time. And you don't really see a lot of just normal people, I suppose.
Yeah, you really get it in passing, but they do take a lot of care into the direction of this movie and to the world around it, even if the characters are there for one scene to just know what's going on. But that was also something that was interesting with this movie, is because, as we've already mentioned, this is the third take on the Fantastic Four, and you're like, are we really going to get the same origin story again for the entire movie? Thank goodness that's a no. We get kind of a very brief version, which was really cool how they did kind of like this old like news footage. It's kind of like a celebration of the Fantastic Four being their superheroes and like on their anniversary, and just kind of going through this cool stylized version of their origin story, and then right into their lives.
They're just like, it's been 4 years and they've done all of these miraculous things, and like, now we're going to start the movie. Like, okay, great, thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Like, really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And this movie is a little bit, not really campy, but it's like fun in that regard, because we're introduced to all the villains that the Fantastic Four have fought over time, and many people are probably like, are these made up characters? Like, these names are so obscure. These are like so silly villains, and like, no,
it's
they're
like their
real.
Earliest
they're just
villains.
Like the OG.
The wizard, like the wizard. I laughed. Like, they hit the wizard and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's also kind of cool because, like, so this world takes place in the 60s, but that is also when the Fantastic Four comics did debut as well. So it's a little bit of a nod to that as well as also to, like, as we said, early villains, early things going on with them. It's kind of neat.
Their conquering of the Mole Man.
Oh my gosh.
Who shows up?
Oh,
He's
man,
like a
he was
character in the
great.
movie.
Yes.
Which, like, that's lovely. And I love how the fact that that Sue, like, all of like their villains, like she tends to have like some kind of relationship with them, like she knows them on a person to person level. So like Reed is running around calling him the Mole Man. She like uses his name. She's like, no.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that was really cool to see in this movie as well, is because we have our group, which is 4 adults that we're following kind of each of them around a little bit, getting a glimpse more into their lives, and we get to see, Sue, Sue is not just a damsel in distress, which was really nice to see her portrayed as she should be, because like we talked about how we like, the original ones, but Jessica Alba only did so much. Like, she was only given so much to do with
she
her
was
character.
given lots
her
of
character
like
was,
sass
smart.
and personality.
Yeah.
But
But that's what we
respect,
had for
maybe
women
not
at
so
the time,
much, I think.
Yeah. But Vanessa Kirby as Sue was
killed
fantastic.
it. Oh my god.
Gosh.
And I have seen so much of their like tour coverage, their promotional tour coverage, and the respect that she gives Sue. Like, she knows who Malice is. Do you know who Malice is?
No.
That's okay. Malice is Sue's like evil personality. Like because everybody gets a chance to become a villain at some point. Malice is Sue's villain. And she has like the most ridiculous outfit in the world. You could only it's Emma levels
I was gonna say, I can only,
of like skimpiness. But Vanessa Kirby is like, no, please put me in that part 2. Like, make me Malice, I dare you. And I'm like, okay, like, let's do it. But no, like the amount of respect she has for Sue Storm is ridiculous. She was like flicking out lore bits like they were nothing. I was like, dang, girl, you know your character.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. No, we love to see that. We love to see that because it just helps to add a little bit more layers to the characters, and they understand that they are playing somebody's hero in something, and it's good to know where this character comes from. But also, I kind of want to jokingly say, like, this is totally her movie. It should have just been called Sue Storm.
I felt the same. You have her going through these, like, crazy emotional situations and pregnancy and giving birth in space. Oh, my God. But, like...
yeah, that was a crazy scene.
Being forced into labor by some big freaking jerk,
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, Sue Storm with the Fantastic Four. Like, they're all like, oh my god, we're gonna protect you. We're gonna solve all your problems. Just hold on. And she's like, I can just do it myself. It's fine.
Yes, so many times. She's like, just do what I'm telling you to do right now. It'll be fine.
And even Ben is like, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Which is so great to see, because it was really cool. Because I was like, what kind of powers are we going to see in this movie? How are they going to portray some of these things? And we just get to see it all from her. Like, everything. Like, it's not like a wimpy little force field here and there. It was just like, you better watch out. She will destroy you.
It's like, it's the same thing. Like,
say yes, ma'am, and move on.
Yes. I can't wait till they finally get to the X-Men. And Feige has said that it's going to be like young X-Men. Like, they're going to be young people. But, like, when Jean gets introduced, if I see her being a damsel one damn time, I'm going to lose my mind. Because she, it's freaking Jean, Well, they got closer to that, like, with the last set of movies. They got closer to that.
A little bit,
They were still hitting into that Jean is crazy place. But, but they got her being powerful, sure. But same with Sue. Like, she's one of the most powerful people on the planet. What she can do with her powers, it's not like the force of it. It's like the creativity, the flexibility behind her powers. she can create a tiny little force field inside your brain and expand it a tiny bit, and you're dead in your tracks. Just complete shutdown, but she gets lots of cool things to do with her powers, and not just like, she does use her powers to like push back Galactus. And I've seen a lot of people go like, but Sue can't do that. Like, well, but it's the situation though, right? If Galactus was given a second to like, not be, falling backwards while he was being pushed. If he got a minute to stand upright, could she push him down? Probably not. But like it's all in. She was able to take advantage of a situation, right? But like then there was the small little uses of her powers, like at the beginning when she's pregnant and she uses her powers to show the gasp. I legitimately was just like blown away. She could use her powers to like make her stomach invisible to show off the baby and how like healthy and safe he was. Oh my god! Like I'm gonna start crying from that alone.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
There was just so many unique ways of showing her abilities, which was cool. And it was also cool in general to see with our Fantastic Four group is that they weren't like, necessarily one-dimensional. It wasn't just like Johnny is just like all into all the women. Like he's also intelligent.
Oh, they hardly even like pressed into that direction, which is great.
It was like a side comment, and then it was just all like,
Johnny is passionate, he is loyal, he is kind. But also, like, also he loves to tease Ben.
Yeah. But hey,
Ben loves to tease Johnny.
Yes, exactly. It comes around. And we really see them as a family in this movie, because this is not just them just immediately getting their powers and dealing with that. We're seeing them at a slightly different point in their lives, a little bit more with acceptance, a little bit more with growth with their powers. But we do see a little bit here and there, of course, with like Ben kind of reflecting still on what he looks like and where he might find romance. Surprise, Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, okay. So I did love that she was in it because I love her. Yes. So put her in everything always. But she wasn't in it that much. So
it was a tease.
Was it just a little way to give Ben something else to do, like something to fight for? Because my thing is that while I love her, she was not Alicia, which
maybe it's the MCU version.
Maybe
create a new character type thing.
Maybe, but the thing is like Alicia is blind and she's a sculptor. And she uses her love for Ben to like help him understand his own worth. Well, she's also she's the daughter of, like the puppet master or something. Is that who it is?
Okay, that sounds slightly familiar. I don't remember specifically.
Yeah, well, she's a deep character with almost as long of a history as the Fantastic Four. So, is there going to be a day when the Fantastic Four has fully moved into like regular Marvel Earth, and maybe Alicia is there? But I don't know. It's weird because Alicia is, such a interesting character, I suppose, to leave out, to replace specifically, I suppose. But I also love Natasha, so it's kind of like, oh well, you win some, you lose some.
With there. Yeah, because I just immediately was like, oh, what is she doing here? But I'm not complaining. Love her. And I was like, she was barely in this movie. Disappointment.
That's the thing. Like, when I saw her once, I was like, ooh, I'm going to see her a lot. No. Like, literally, like, maybe 2 or 3 scenes.
Mm-hmm. But it was announced that they are making a sequel to this movie.
They are making. Which, of course, is probably not going to take place until after Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing... Well, everything Secret Wars is going to be wild because of the implications we can assume.
Yes.
So,
which is, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, well, if I can go off on a tangent here, I'm interested because, in the comics, Secret Wars, throw Doomsday in there too. The incursions are happening and Earths are hitting other Earths and destroying universes, and in order to save like the main Marvel universe, Doctor Doom basically destroys all of the universes, and then he patches them all together into Battleworld. And then after that all thing happens, Reed and Franklin, I suppose, recreate Earth Prime, which at the time they dropped the 616 connotation. It was just Earth Prime. And they basically just patchworked everything they wanted to work together into this Earth. So that's why, like, Miles Morales, he was brought in from the Ultimate Universe. I mean, as was the Maker, but we're not going to talk about him right now. But all this other stuff was put in finally into, like, main canon one universe, which I assume is what they're going to do with Secret Wars here. They're going to create a brand new Earth. They're going to introduce X-Men, or mutantdom, I suppose. But they also have a chance to recast people.
That is true.
A brand new Tony Stark, a brand new Captain America. Anybody who's died can come back, which not that many people have died, but they have a chance to replace people with a fresh start. So
yeah, there's a lot they can do with this. It'll be very interesting, and especially it's interesting with how this movie leaves things, because there's only one big thing that we could mention as a spoiler, but with Galactus, is that he is teleported far away from them to another place.
Without his ship or anything. So, like, that's kind of how they stop him. They just push him into a teleporter, essentially. Yeah. Teleport him to the opposite side of the universe, where, like, he won't make his way back to Earth for, like, millions of years, I think Reed said.
Yeah.
Essentially. Because also, well, I mean, he also doesn't have his ship, which is complicated for Galactus, because that's how he feeds. So interesting.
So we'll see where he lands, though, or ends up. But that was interesting. Do you want to hear my hottest take about this movie?
Yeah, I do.
I did not like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
Was he too likable? Too beautiful? Tell me.
It was just because when I was watching the movie, all I saw was Pedro Pascal. And that's the thing where I was just like, he was...
I get that.
Yeah. And it was disappointing. I was trying to go into it with an open mind. And, like, I got that he was really trying. He was really trying to, portray the complexities with Reed by showing, he's super intelligent, but also has major flaws, but is also a caring husband and wants to be a caring father. And I could feel those things, but I kept just going, you were just cosplaying right now. I can't handle this. It makes me upset.
I have that issue with Pedro Pascal, like, anywhere, like, maybe outside of Game of Thrones. Because that's where I, like, met Pedro Pascal, which is probably not uncommon. But yeah, anytime I see Pedro Pascal now, I'm just like, it's Pedro Pascal. He's playing his character, but, like, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Because he's such a character himself,
Yeah. No, for real. Like, he is a great guy. He's funny. He's very likable and stuff in general. Like, no hate to him. It was just very, 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 very difficult for me to, like, look over at him when he was in this, like, role. And I was like, everybody's there except for him. Which is just funny because, like, I am familiar with Vanessa Kirby's work as well. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm familiar with her, so we'll see how this roll. But nope, she was fine. It was just Pedro. I'm like, sorry, Pedro. You're not Reed to me, but I will try to get past that.
And it could be a thing where he's playing this character for the first time in such a big role, and so maybe in Doomsday, maybe it'll be a little different. He'll slide into those shoes a little easier.
Yeah, but it was very interesting seeing his Reed on screen because we did get to see glimpses of Reed's darker side. Those darker thoughts he has, and you're just like, oh, boy.
Well, it's not so much darker thoughts as just strictly logical and unemotional, And
but to other people, yes, it seems very dark. Yeah.
But, but then there's Sue, though, who understands how Reed is, and she doesn't necessarily fault him for that. Does it stop her from, like, standing her ground and being emotional at times about? Because, like, she accuses him. She's like, you thought about abandoning our child, to save the world. And he's like, of course I thought about it. It's literally an option, but I'm not, that doesn't mean I want that. I doesn't mean I'm going to choose that or anything like that. But I like that they went that route too, because like Hank Pym, Hank Pym, they went in a different direction with Hank Pym. They showed him as, smart and intelligent and all the things, and also a bit of a jerk. But not so much like scummy, maybe, as he used to be in the comics, like not a great guy.
That's fair.
There's a difference between not being a good person and like being a jerk. The Guy Gardner pulls that off every day of his life. Good person, but like he's a big old jerk.
Mm-hmm.
They did that similarly with Reed, where they showed those not great traits. And I think it's good that they did that in this movie and not like in Secret Wars or later on, all the way past this whole arc into Fantastic Four 2, you know? That would have been way too late.
Yeah. Yes, it would have been disappointing to be like, no, he's so much more of a complex character. And so it was good to see different sides of that being hinted at and portrayed.
Oh, what did you think of the Silver Surfer?
Fine.
Yeah, a good character.
It was kind of a cool thing. Yeah,
I like how they connected her character to Sue's character in the sense where like they both were being offered to like sacrifice themselves in a way for the betterment of their planet. Well, the Silver Surfer did it to save her child. Sue refuses to sacrifice her child to save everybody else. And also, like, was it Julia Gardner? That's her name, right?
Yes.
Also, like, she did a great job.
Yeah.
In her weird, like, chemistry with Johnny. Or his weird chemistry with her, maybe.
Yes, that's true.
Because she was like, no, thank you, the whole time. Except
he's like, maybe?
Maybe.
Is that a maybe?
Like, I know it's kind of weird, but maybe. And she's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Also, like, your planet's gonna die.
Like, I know you.
So, yeah, I know you. That's like his whole thing. He's like, I've known you from the minute you started talking. And she's like, what? Get away from me. But you know, there was the one scene, I think they were on Galactus' ship, maybe or maybe they were on their ship while she was giving birth. And the Silver Surfer shows up and she tells Johnny, because Johnny's like, I don't know, because like she's weird and alien hot. I don't know. And Sue is like, she's here to take your nephew, kill her. And Johnny is like, looks at her and is gone. Like immediate, like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like loyalty, protector.
No, it's so true. But going back to the Silver Surfer as a character, I thought it was really nice to see more depth, to see this little backstory.
Give her the backstory, yes.
Yeah.
And you know,
like, okay, cool.
I'm so glad, frankly, I'm so glad that they did not tie her to like the original Silver Surfer. Because in the comics, she is his wife. And like later on, it's kind of the same. Like Galactus is like, well, I need a new herald and I'm going to take you because your husband sucked it up or something, whatever. So either you be my herald or I kill him. And she was like, okay, I'm glad they didn't do that. It's just like another woman that has to rely on a man, you know. I'm glad they completely removed him from the old Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the whole theme of this movie. Women can do their own things and they don't need the men. But the men can sure be there if they want to.
They can support if they want.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But we gotta talk about the other fun thing about this movie is the music. You know,
oh my gosh.
Can't be anything without the music.
It's so good.
The wonderful Michael Giacchino at it again. And of course, we just have to make the fun notion. Of course, Michael Giacchino also did the music for The Incredibles, so it's also fun to see it kind
Which
of
is so
like
funny because The Incredibles are
the
based off the Fantastic Four.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just,
but
it's
like
just
for him, it's
circle
reversal.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It was so fun. Let's see. The other thing about this movie, too, is just this movie is under 2 hours. We don't often say that MCU movies are under 2 hours.
For real. They did what they need to do and they got out of there.
Yep, which is excellent, which makes it approachable to most people. Mm-hmm. So,
you know, and I'm so happy like that we got a Fantastic Four story that includes Franklin, because you know, like the other movies just didn't get quote unquote far enough to introduce Franklin, but this one said no, we're just going to jump straight to it. Because Franklin, I mean, good Lord, he has been around for forever and ever and ever. And he's not a small character. But now that, and especially if we're going the route of Doomsday and Secret Wars, which again, I assume his power is going to be necessary for all of that. Which, okay, great. I'm curious, how long is it going to be before we get Valeria?
I know. I almost thought that was going to be one of the like, post-credit scene was going to be that she was pregnant again.
Like, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that too.
Yeah.
Although, like, their age gap's a little bit more than, like, well, 4 years probably about cuts it.
Yeah, like, I didn't think that. I was like, I couldn't remember the specific amount, but I was like, well, 4 years, I was like, oh, maybe. But then she wasn't, and so I was like, okay, maybe a little bit.
In the comics, it's so hard to nail down either of their two ages. They try to keep them as young as they can. But, like, right now, Franklin is a mid-teenager. You know, he's probably good 14, 15. And Valeria is, like, 11 or 12. But the thing is that they're both constantly trying to be older, right? Because their parents are the Fantastic Four, and I can do this if you just believe in me. But the issue is that Franklin is freaking nigh omnipotent, and Valeria is like the second smartest person in the world. So it's... They can't be left alone because they're nuisances to humanity.
Yep.
But also,
Trouble.
I'm hoping... Yeah, right. If we get Valeria, which... surely we will. I'm really hoping that they do what they do in the comics and make her Doom's goddaughter. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay,
I
great.
did. Yeah.
I'm really hoping, because really, in the continuity of everything, she is just about the only person that Doom loves. Like, he will coddle her. He will flip the moon for her. He will go out of his way to give her comfort, you know? And it's wild, because she takes advantage of that. And he'll like, well, the thing is, it's like, he's aware of it. He'll like curse her existence and still be going to the grocery store to get the pudding mix, you know? But I really hope, but also because she's so smart, she can like rival him. So he teaches her a lot of stuff, and she teaches him a lot of stuff, and it's wild. And I really hope we get to see that in the MCU. That would be so freaking cool.
That would be really cool to see. It's also something that's really interesting because this movie also is kind of thing where we have like our superheroes having children, and these children are going to be superheroes in a sense. They are a bigger part of the Marvel universe, and so it would be really cool and interesting to kind of continue this whole family theme from this movie and see if it can also be extended to our upcoming movies. That would be cool.
They brought up the Future Foundation in the movie. Like they named something else the Future Foundation, and I was like, no, like the Future Foundation is the Fantastic Four after they have Franklin and Valeria, but then also like all the other like super smart kids. They have this like weird multi-dimensional alien family thing going on, and they are the Future Foundation. And also the suits. I love the Future Foundation suits. They're like black and white and stuff. It's really cool. It's really, really freaking cool. But, you know, maybe.
Yeah. I know, there's so much wishful thinking, just so many possibilities on how these upcoming movies can go. And this movie, we got a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, but only the mid-credit scene really did anything. But honestly, the whole movie was just teasing us the entire time for Doom. We saw so many references, so many things of Doom's absence, but being a part of this world potentially, and then we get hit with a parent's worst nightmare.
Stranger
Somebody
danger.
creepy is with my son.
I love how Sue just like, she walks like, it's like 4 years after the movie takes place, and she's reading Franklin a book, which is really funny because she's reading him some little children's book, and then she's like, oh, you want the other book, right? And Franklin's like, yeah. So she gets up to get it, and oh, Herbie, we haven't talked about Herbie, the little robot.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about him in a second. But she's like, hey, have you seen like the books? And he pulls out some like Aristotle like nonsense, and she's like, no, we're not doing that one again.
You can do it on your own time.
Yeah, like
Maybe you could read it to him.
And she grabs the other one and comes back, but when she comes back, and I love how they framed this. You just see her kind of walking back into like the sitting space, but you just see her, like her face. But you can tell from her face, like, thank you, Vanessa Kirby, that something not right is happening. And she gets around the corner, and you see Doom is like crouched down next to Franklin, like with his mask pulled away. And Franklin is like reaching up to his face, like, and it's like, dun, 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 that's the end. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
So
That's a teaser.
And the movie didn't end and is connecting to, like, the Thunderbolts the way I thought it would. Because at the end of the Thunderbolts, like, there's a space situation going on. Space crisis, I think, is what Yelena says. But they witness a Fantastic Four ship, like, teleporting into Earth's atmosphere. And that's kind of the end. Like, it rotates and you see the Fantastic Four symbol, and that's it. I thought, initially, my thought was that, so Fantastic Four, they're fighting Galactus, and they fail. I thought they were going to fail and have to, like, flee, And it would make sense, teleport away, get away, and they just end up in, Earth 616. But that's not the case. Because you can see, and Feige has also confirmed that the ship that appears, while it's a Fantastic Four ship, it's not the ship that they use. So does Doom steal a ship? Does he kidnap Franklin, steal the ship, and then teleport, to Earth 616? And then why does he do that?
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about, because maybe this is the only Earth where there isn't a Fantastic Four. There isn't a Reed to pester him while he completes his evil goals. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities there, but that would make sense if it clearly involves Doom traveling around. And it's kind of the question too, well, is the Doom we saw at the end the Doom from the Fantastic Four's world?
Is it a different Doom completely? There's...
I don't know.
I'm still skeptical about Robert Downey Jr. being Victor Von Doom. I'm still not even on board with that yet, Like, I feel like we're being hoodwinked.
He's one of something. He is something. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. He could be an Iron Man who has become Doctor Doom, I think I think there's so much more to it that we don't know. I don't think it's as simple as, he's just recast as Doctor Doom.
No, there definitely has to be a very specific reason. I definitely agree. They're not going to just do that casually. And
in something little, I kind of hope that we get introduced to the Council of Reeds, and they have like the original. They can have all of the other Reeds, and also John Krasinski Reed.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, they can have all the other Reeds and then 70 million other Reeds. I don't care. But, like, how fun would that be? Just give me a little moment that's the Council of Reeds. And they're being like, well, this Doom has gone around and, like, maybe he's killing all the other Dooms and taking his power, and yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't know.
So it's Loki.
Maybe. Doom has been Loki all along.
Yep. Okay.
That
makes sense. Cares about the other villains they set up. We'll just ignore that.
But I feel like, I know there's a lot of people who are real skeptical and real, like, downer about Doomsday. But I think that comes with the general, like, Marvel, like, fatigue that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be great. I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, which is usually a good thing. You don't want to know everything going into a movie, especially when it's like a big,
you want to know everything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Especially when it's like a
all
two-parter.
No.
You want to just, like, can you remember when you sat down for Infinity War for the first time?
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, I don't know what's happening. Keep giving it to me. Like, let's go. Come on. Because when you watch everything leading up to Infinity War, and by the time you're sitting there watching Infinity War, you're just like, everything's moving so fast and everything's coming together, and it's like, oh my god, what's happening? I hope we get the same kind of feeling from Doomsday. I hope.
Yeah. I think it's just, I'm going to continue to keep my expectations low so that they can be surpassed.
Hey, it's a great way to live. Have no expectations and you're surprised either way.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, it's just going to be crazy how they get everybody to come together. But, we've already seen that in some crazy movies already. For example, with, Deadpool and Wolverine. What a crazy cast. A crazy group of people we got together.
That was pretty
Nods
wild,
to
yeah.
the characters that came before. It was pretty cool. So I expect that we'll see something crazy like that.
It's so funny that they did Deadpool 3, and it's this big celebration of all the Fox X-Men stuff. And then Marvel's like, yeah, we're going to use them over here, thanks.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is like cussing somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think for me personally, I definitely recommend you guys should go watch this movie if you haven't already. In general, a pretty self-contained movie. So if you are a Marvel fan or, a casual fan and you've missed out on the last who knows how many movies, don't worry. It's its own thing. You'll be able to follow along without a problem. It's just a fun, good third time's the charm with the Fantastic Four. Is that what we're getting at?
I mean, Michael B. Jordan got his second chance in Marvel.
Yeah,
so
he did.
It worked out.
I never saw that Fantastic Four movie. I just couldn't.
Oh my lord. It's fine that you didn't.
Yep, but we got this one, so.
Sure did.
That's all I've got to say about it.
But the one last thing we haven't talked about is Herbie.
Yes.
The little dinosaur,
Sweet
little
Herbie.
robot. He's adorable.
He's so sweet. It was a really charming part of this movie. A teeny little bit annoying, but also just overall sweet, but not overbearing.
Yeah, and everybody loves him. So hopefully they continue
Yes.
to put Herbie in everything that they can. Go watch it for Herbie, at least for Herbie.
Yes. And Vanessa Kirby, so there you go.
There was one last thing during the promotional tour. There's a lot of comments about how her powers, like physically, like how she was doing her powers was being compared to how Elizabeth Olsen does Wanda's, like wiggly woos. Her, and ask about that. Vanessa Kirby just like laughed a lot. She's like, "Oh no, there was a lot of inspiration taken from Elizabeth Olsen because she even gets like the back bend in there." Like the big, like power back bend. She gets that in there too. And they said that we wanted to like do something fun with it, but not like completely copy it. And that just made me really happy. She was like a huge like Scarlet Witch supporter. So.
Well, and also the connection there too is that the director of this movie also directed WandaVision. So there's also
That's
that
true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that is funny.
That is funny. Maybe one day we'll get Sue and Wanda in the same room.
Oh boy.
Maybe someday.
I mean, two mothers out to protect their children.
Mm-hmm.
That's some.
Well, we got Billy out in the wild too.
Also amazing. I know.
So,
but we got this movie right here. So,
and it's good enough. So go watch.
I'll definitely be watching this movie again. Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely little things. So many Easter eggs. It's a great world created in this movie.
They did it justice. So let's hope they can keep it going throughout the next handful of movies, I suppose.
Exactly. But I think that'll do it for this episode.
I think it will. And that's it for another episode of Podcast Demastered.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, don't forget to follow and subscribe, leave us a review, and tell a friend.
If you have an episode idea, send us an email at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook at Pod Demastered.
Thanks for listening, and tune in for the next time we demaster our favorite things on
Podcast
Demastered.
Demastered.